Ops, and maybe it's me, but I got a feeling audiences just want to have a break. And a film like Plane might be what they're looking for, where you literally have just a couple muscle bound dudes, a whole lot of guns, not a lot of plot. It's just some stuff happening, couple of shootouts, a thrill, if you want to call it that. Maybe a couple. I don't know. It seems a lot more entertaining and an escape than some of the other tripe that we've gotten in the last couple years. Now, don't get me wrong. The Plane is such a simple film. If I took notes, it might be like 6 sentences. it's Gerald Butler's on a plane. He's trying to fly everybody home. Not very many people on this plane, except to the guy, as you can see right there next to him. That's Mike Colter. Yeah, Luke Cage. He's wanted for homicide. So he's brought in with an agent, handcuffed, sit in the back of the plane by himself. Like I said, a dozen or so regular civilians, a couple of stewardesses or whatever. Plane is, we got to save money on gas, time, fly into the storm. They don't make it out of the storm. It's not cheesy or cheeky. It just happens. It's a little drawn out, but it's actually pretty good. And guess what? He manages to land the plane. They don't really have communications. They've lost power. One engine's pretty much toast, but they managed to land on some island. The problem is, as the promo says, the crash was only the beginning, because they landed on an island that's basically run by a bunch of crazy, what are they, militants, militia groups, thugs. So after they land, people are freaking out, right? He decides he plays Captain Torrance. And he decides he's going to at least try to find a radio, find something. He doesn't really know. They don't even know exactly where they are. They kind of know where they are, but they don't really know. And he leaves. He takes this guy with him. It's fine. And in doing so, they run across like a warehouse area. They find some sort of way of communicating. He does get one phone call out. They think he's like a spam call at first, and then he gets a hold of his daughter. So it's like broken communication, but at least there's some sort of heads up on where they might be. And then the militants, they get word that there was a plane. Like a villager says, I saw this plane. He gets paid money to tell them that. They go find the plane because their plan is, well, we're going to kidnap all these people and then like demand a ransom. And as these two have come back together, Torrance's life is saved by Mike Colter's character. I don't even know his name. Doesn't even matter. They figure out that, this isn't going to go well. These are terrible bad guys. There's a video camera of them basically torturing and doing the ransom bit with like some missionaries. So that's the premise, right? You got to go get your people. You got to figure out how to get off the island, and it's not going to go well. Now, the airline and stuff, it was very strange how they handled all of this because of the politics. They kind of like created this sort of like political concept where the U.S. government, the local government, these kinds of things, because it's an island off the Philippines. No one wants to deal with it. So the airline, I guess, they've got a phone call away, like hardcore mercenaries, like literally like the squad that was sent in for the Predator. It's like, but they're all just a bunch of faceless guys with guns. There's no real personalities or characters or anything like that. Just a couple of bags of cash to hopefully pay their way along if they need it, and lots of guns. So shootouts ensue, chases ensue, a lot of people die, and it was at least fun. It's not only not woke, it's like kind of like just toxic men. Like, I don't even know, like there's a stewardess that kind of matters, but she doesn't really matter. Mike Colter. So I got to say this about Gerald Butler. He set his ego aside in this movie. Like, sure, he's tough. He gets shot. Obviously, he doesn't go into shock after taking bullets, but he has a hand-to-hand fight scene where he has to kill somebody or whatever. But Mike Colter is the one who does all of the heavy lifting, super hardcore. There's actually a shot where he is going with Terrence's character, where they figured out where the hostages are, and he's got like the sledgehammer, and I'm like, man, he is John Henry Irons, man. He is like steel. It was great. I know he's been Luke Cage. I know it's a little on the nose. I was like, pretty cool. And I got to be honest, it doesn't spoon feed wrap up because people do get shot. A couple people die. Things aren't going well. There is a really cool shootout at the end as they're trying to, I don't know. Their grand scheme is they're going to figure out how to start the plane and at least get it in the air. If they can just get off that island, hopefully they can end up on an island where they can at least safely get help and communications. So, I mean, it's an incredible firefight. And Mike Colter's backstory is that he's wanted for a homicide. It's kind of like a Con Air story, right? Wrong place, wrong time kind of guy. He was 18. He fled to like the French Foreign Legion or something. Nobody asked questions. He's finally been caught and they're bringing him in. So he has like a military background, but he's on this island with all this chaos. He runs across this giant duffel bag of money these mercenaries had. So he basically just kind of like doesn't get on the plane, has a bag of cash, saves everyone on the plane by shooting the guy who has like the missile launcher. And then just you see him trot off into the jungle. Like, oh, okay, that's pretty good. Okay, I'm good with that. And, you know, the plane gets in the air. It's absurd. It can barely fly. It's like the typical, don't tell me how to fly. I don't have an engine. I don't have this. I can't see. I can't do this. It's like, yeah, it's like so fun cliche. Like it's like 90s action movie, but like way watered down on the action. Like there's a lot of like, you know, gotta sneak around and be quiet about it. You know, we don't want to use our guns to draw attention. Stuff that makes sense. Like, look, hey, wait. In the 90s, we just blow things up. We just run. So like, I don't know why they didn't contrive more action and explosives. I don't know if it was a budget issue, but I was in the warehouse and they're digging through bags. I was expecting them to find like a bag of C4 and a bag of this and a bag, you know, I expected them to come across just these matters of coincidence, but they didn't really even go that far with it. So absurd and fun, guns, sweat, jungles. I don't know. We didn't have any like hot chicks running around or anything like that, but every other 90s cliche kind of got like thrown out there. So, but it's a fun time. It's an okay time. If you need an actual break, I get it. Plane's probably for you. So that's my take. Maybe you guys have seen it. You can tell me what you think, as I like to do. It's been a wild ride.